welcome to week 2 of building my house. It's not super easy for me to pick this stuff up on my own, but I can do it. And then doing the walls vertically. So we were starting top down, like you see a lot of people do it. But vertically, it seems to go a lot quicker, and then I can do that by myself instead of starting from the top. So I'm doing the rest of my ceilings in wood, tongue and groove, so I don't have to worry about doing the ceilings. That's why I'm just doing the walls, and then I can just do that space, and then I'm putting wood, and then I'm going to do trim around the edge. So right now I'm just working on the master closet. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna leave that piece for now. I'm gonna walk around and show y'all what stuff got done for the plumbing today. Okay, so we'll start in the master bathroom. So the water lines got tied in, and these are the stub out pieces. So we got toilet, which is cold water. Then you got the bathroom sink, hot, cold, drain, vent stack. And we've got laundry room, hot, cold, drain, vent stack that goes up on the other side, and goes up. I need to get no nail plates for this. Here, hot and cold for the shower and bathtub in the guest bathroom, toilet, sink. And then these were the drain stuff. The drain stuff was already done and plumbed in. And then it's just the water lines that got tied in. And then we got cold for the fridge, ice box, and water filter. And then we got hot and cold for the kitchen sink here. And then these just get cut once the drywall is up and you're putting the final pieces in. Okay, today I am either going to be trying to put up a few more pieces of drywall, or I'm going to be priming that room for paint. Not quite sure which yet. I'm going to try and do some drywall pieces first and see how I feel because it's kind of hot, and go from there. Okay, now I think I'm gonna do the trim for the edges and the corners for the primer for this room because I'm just done with drywall today. Got enough done for the day. Now, part of the reason why I am doing all the walls like this too instead of the other way, which I don't really care which way it's done as long as it looks the same, which it should with enough mud. The main reason that I'm doing it this way is, one, I can do this by myself. I don't have to lift up things, so this makes it way easier for me. Yeah, I can't put it up to the ceiling, hold it, and drill it, screw it in with one person. That's just ridiculous. But this way, I can do it one person. And in order for me to get an occupancy permit in my area, in my state, which is not going to be in most states, it's not going to be in most places, it's not going to be, you're going to have to finish it. But because of the area I'm in, all they need for me to do is to get these receptacles wired in after the walls, and then I get an occupancy permit so I can get electricity here. So I get all these in, get some of the light fixtures in, get them all wired to where they're capped, and then some of the stuff can be for later, leave breakers off, things like that. And I can get moved in and I can spend more time working on it, because right now it takes me an hour and a half round trip to get to my own house. So. Just got to my house and it looks like they finished doing the septic system install. So I'm just gonna take a quick look at that before I get to work. So this is the leach field right here. This is where the water will drain out and go back to the earth. And then this is the septic tank. This is the top of the tank right here. I think they leave this to where you can see where it is, so they will know how to access it for when it does need to be pumped out. And this is a clean out right here. And this is where it's going to be tied into the house from the drain lines for the house. Phone started to overheat, so it stopped filming for a little bit. We're gonna see what I can get before it happens again. I just put up this piece here and then this piece here, so I didn't do too much. And I'm gonna work on getting these done. Kind of taking a break. A little bit exhausted to do any more pieces, but don't feel like sitting still because I feel like if I stop, then I'm just going to be done. Because it's hot and I'm tired. Almost 2 weeks of non-stop work. All day, like after work. Well, not all day, but like 4 hours after 4 hours of work. And it's like 90 degrees outside, so. Okay, I want to do this wall now. I need to move this up. Okay. I think I might be done for the day. I'm gonna have my friend help me do this wall. And I have 4 pieces of drywall left, so I'm gonna need to get some more. But I think 4 pieces will pretty much cover most of that. And then most of this room will be done. And I'll just need to get a few more pieces of regular drywall for finishing here, the second guest bedroom, and then the closet, and then I'll need to get the mold resistant drywall for the 2 bathrooms. I'll also need to get drywall for the laundry room and linen closet. But it's good progress this week. I'm happy. And I'll be back tomorrow to work on it. I've got to buy more primer before I can finish priming that 1 bedroom. And then on Sunday, gonna try and get a lot of the electrical wiring done for all the places that the drywall is already done and up. And then I'll just tape that off when I'm mudding and cover it. That way I can get electric hooked up, which is great.